Welcome back, my legends, and today I'm going to show you an advanced guide of how to play Pathfinder in control mode. Now, Pathfinder is one of the most important characters you can have in this game mode because of his zip lines. And before you ask, yes, this is going to be a guide for both maps in Olympus and Stormpoint. Now, the first map we're going to talk about is Hammond Labs. Now, I'm going to teach you how to support your teammates to grab E. Now, no matter which side you spawn on, always do this first. Always grab the first capture point on your side of the field because that will always give you your ultimate. Now, if you spawn on the left side of the map, I want you to put your zip line right around here. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because when your teammates fail to capture B like they always do, they're going to respawn on top of the platform right here, and they should see the zip line and take it, or they can completely ignore it like an idiot, but eventually they'll get the message that this actually helps them go die faster. Now, if you spawn on the right side of the map, it's the same thing, capture the first post, but instead of putting the zip line on the platform, what's more efficient is to go all the way up here in this area and put the zip line right here. Now, the reason why is because for some reason this is the main spawn point for people who die trying to capture B. They mostly respawn on top of this area and they intersect around here, so this is where I recommend putting the zip line. That way they can go back and try to capture B as fast as possible. And now that you understand that, now I'm going to give you a more advanced option. Now, the next advanced option you can do is go on top of this platform and put your zip line right around here. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this way you can surprise your enemy by attacking them from behind. Although personally, I only recommend doing this if you're 3-stacking it, but if you are going to do this option, I recommend having an Octane on your team so that way you can get to the other side even faster. Now, if you're on the right side, I recommend you putting the zip line right around here to get on top of the building. And same thing, try to have an Octane in your team, make him put his ult right here and try to attack him from behind and clear them out. Now, the next thing I want to talk about are the spawn points when you control Zone B. Now, from my research, I found out that each side has 3 exclusive spawn points that belong to them. For example, Z Zone, these 3 spots right here are exclusively for C side, just like how on A side, these 3 spawn points over here are exclusively for A, meaning that if A is in control of B, they won't be able to spawn in these 3 areas because these belong to C exclusively. And same goes to C. If they control B, they won't be able to spawn in these 3 spawn points. But there are also 3 more spawn points that I want to talk about, and these are the ones that belong in the middle. Now, these spawn points can be accessed by both teams, but they have to have control of Zone B. So, for example, if C team has control of Zone B, they can use these 3 spawn points. So in reality, when you're trying to respawn, the game might put you in one of these 6 possible locations. But going back to the rushing option, if you're on the right side and you already put 1 zip line here and use your long range weapons to keep them away from B. Now, it's very annoying and you might get a few death threats here and there, but it's very effective if you want to win the game. Now, unfortunately, it's not the same thing on the left side. You can't really use a zip line to take advantage of a structure. The one thing I recommend never doing as Pathfinder is never ever put a zip line on the enemy side, because what's gonna happen is that they're going to push you away from B and they're gonna have a direct way to get to B even faster because of you. Now that I clarified that, let's move on to Stormpoint so I can show you how you can help your teammates on that map. Now, when you're in Stormpoint, it's the same principle. First things first, you go capture the first control point on your side of the field, and once you get your ultimate, this is where things get interesting because you can play it multiple ways. The first way I'm going to show you is you go outside, you stand right here, you shoot a zipline at a 50-degree angle on top of this platform, and that way you can slide and grab this other zipline right here. But that's not really the best method. You kind of have to wait until you get a second zipline, and then you can put it directly at the door, or you can put it on top of the platform right here. I recommend putting on top of the platform so that way you have an option to attack from the top, and also that way you don't have a direct line for the enemy team to counter you. The 2 other methods you could do is that you can go to the left side right here and put the zipline around this area, so that way you only need 1 zipline to attack the top. Also, you can go on top of this platform and put a zipline right here, same thing. The only reason I recommend doing the 50-degree one is because all my data shows that the majority of intersections that your teammates are going to do, it's gonna be around this area. So as much as some people might clown on me saying, Kevin, why would I need 2 ziplines when I can just put 1 all the way over here and get me there in 1 trip, is because once you spawn back behind A or C, you're going to go through this building, and it's technically faster to use the 50-degree one than using the one on the outside in the middle. Now, it's the same principle on the other side. You want to put the zip lines right here, here, and here. It's basically the same thing. It's a mirror reflection on the other side. And so that's basically the best way you can support your teammates. Now I'm going to teach you how you can rush A and C side of the enemy's base really fast and quickly. So this is how you do it in Storm storm point. First things first, you get your ultimate, then you climb this ramp right here, and you see where B side is. Well, we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to be stealthy. You see these walls right here on the left side or right side depending on your perspective. It doesn't matter which wall you chose to put the zip line, just put it like this. Now that you have your zip line, what you want to do is start rushing A and try to capture it and hold on to it as long as possible, because if the enemy team does not have A, they cannot spawn at B and they'll be forced to spawn back to their original spawn point to try to get A. And so this is the benefit of doing this strategy, is that you basically make it where they have to capture A in order to go get to B. And so if you distract them long enough, it makes it easier for your teammates to capture B and you've done your job. Now, this is where things get crazy. If you have a second zip line, I want you to put it right here on top of their building. Now, I know what you're saying, Kevin, didn't you say never to put a zip line on the enemy? Yes, but here's the thing. This is such an inconvenient zip line that most of the time people just don't bother to even use it. I kid you not. So it's okay to give them the zip line, although if they have a brain, they might actually use it against you. But if you want to see real speed, watch this, my legends. With just 3 zip lines, look how fast it takes me to get to the enemy's base. Now, majority of the time, this enemy control point is going to be wide open for the taking because nobody's actually expecting somebody to walk all the way over there, much less be there in such a record time like your Sonic or the Flash. And so this is the best strat to get rid of people from B, because without A, they can hold down B and spawn near the building, which before you ask, these are the spawn points that I found near B. And so that's how Pathfinder can help you in Storm Point. Now I'm going to teach you how Pathfinder can do the exact same thing in Olympus. Now, the first thing you want to do, if you're on the left side, you want to grab your ultimate and then you want to climb this, walk over here and put your zip line around this area and hit this tree right here. Now, the reason I recommend doing this first is because A, the enemy team doesn't benefit from this zip line, and B, it's because it's kind of like a puzzle piece. So the next thing you want to do is once you get your second zip line, you put it right here, and this is what it should look like in my illustration. And finally, once you get your third zip line, this is where the magic happens. You put it in the middle of gold loot, and now all of a sudden you have a direct attack line towards the enemy's control point, as you can see right here. And it's very funny when they start to wonder how in the world are you getting there so quickly and so fast without using a trident. Now, if you want to do this on the right side, now the fastest way you could do it is you had to put a zip line right here on top of this building, and then put another zip line on top of the rocks right here, and then put the final zip line on top of this platform over here, so that way it's more inconvenient for them, although they can still use it against you. Now, this is technically the fastest way you can do it. Now, the other way you could do it, which is the stealthy way, is you get on top of gold loot, you put a zip line here, you put a zip line on top of the rocks and then on top of the platform, and if you just don't like walking like I do, you put a zip line right here, and now you have a direct stealthy line towards A. Now, I really recommend doing this one because the other one you're more likely to get shot at by the people in the middle, although it's really up to you. And yeah, my legends, thank you for watching this. Let me know if you want another character analysis to break the game, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.